Welcome, creative adventurers. I'm Debbie Cohn with Decone Designs. Thank you for stopping by today. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite tools for 2023. I will put a link to the videos that I did for 2021 and 2022 as well. There you'll find several more tools that I use every day. I love and recommend them to my friends and anyone who asks. Before we jump to the tools, just a couple of quick notes. When you're shopping, if you can, please shop local, whether it's your local quilt shop, ideally, or your local chain store or your local big box store. But if that isn't what works for you, then by all means shop online. And I do have some affiliate links in the video description for your convenience if you so choose. I just want to let you know that this video is not sponsored by any person, company, or website. These are simply products that I use and recommend. I use them whenever I sew, and I love them. So let's get right to those tools. Number 1, Creative Grids Rulers. You can see there's gripping strips and dots along the ruler. That's what really holds the ruler down so that it doesn't slip when you're cutting your fabric. I love them. I love them so much, I'm converting my rulers into all Creative Grids rulers. Next on my list, and new to me this year, is the 505 Temporary Adhesive Spray. Now, for years I have used another basting spray, and I recently tried a third brand of basting spray. But this is my new favorite because it doesn't have a smell. It is just as inexpensive as the other basting sprays, and I can use it without worrying about the fumes. This is my new go-to for sure. The next thing I'm loving is the Schmetz needles. Let me see if I can do a close-up for you. There we go. They're the Schmetz Universal 8012 needles. I really like them. I buy them in bulk on Amazon, confession time, and they are handy, they're sharp, I love them. The next thing that I fell in love with this year is the magic pins. These particular ones are the long, fine quilting ones with the turquoise heads. I love them. They are the flathead version, and they've made my quilting life so much easier. And so far, they don't get dull quickly and they don't rust. I love them. I recommend them to everyone. The next thing I love is my 1/4-inch presser foot on my machine. My machine did come with a 1/4-inch foot, but it wasn't installed. I had to search through the different feet and install it, and I'm so glad I did. If your machine doesn't come with a 1/4-inch foot, check online or with your local quilt shop or sewing machine store and see if they have one that you can purchase. Some machines will accept a universal 1/4-inch foot. It will really help your piecing to be accurate. Making the list for the 3rd year in the row is Diagonal Seam Tape by Cluck Cluck Sew. It looks like this. I can turn it this way. I'll also show you on my machine how I have it installed. I actually use them both together, the 1/4-inch foot and the diagonal seam tape, and I switch back and forth at any moment depending on what I'm piecing and how I need to sew things together. It really helps me to have both the 1/4-inch foot and the diagonal seam tape on my machine at all times. Another thing I'm loving this year is a mechanical pencil. Now, I've always just used a regular yellow pencil. I have to scrounge around and find a sharpener if it's not sharp enough, and I just finally went to using a mechanical pencil, and it's made all the difference. It's quick, it's easy, it marks well, I can use it light or dark. It works for all my quilting needs when I need a pencil. You can get this inexpensively at your dollar store or any place that sells office or school supplies. Another thing I'm loving are the Machine Gers quilting gloves. You can see that mine are well used, and I love them. Now, truth be told, you can just use some gardening gloves from the dollar store. That works as well, but I was kind of concerned that the color from the gloves might rub off onto the fabric as I pull the quilt through when I'm quilting my quilt. So I invested in the Machine Gers gloves, and I really like them. The next indispensable tool I have is a camera. In my case, I'm using the iPad mini that I have, but I've also used my iPhone. Well, what do I use this for? Sometimes I'd like to take photos of my quilt in progress. Might take pictures of the main fabrics, of the focal block for the quilt, of the row when it's put together, as well as how I arrange the entire quilt. And then, of course, I take a photo of the final quilt before it's sent to the long armor, and then once it comes back, and if I'm giving it to someone else, I make sure to take a photo of the recipient with his or her new quilt. I use it for taking photos of my quilt blocks as I'm putting them together and arranging them so that I can see my light values and my dark values. I do that by changing the setting to black and white. After I take the photo, I look to make sure I have a wide balance. I also take pictures as I'm putting the quilt together row by row, so that I know which blocks go where. Even when I stack and label my rows, sometimes as I'm sewing, I think, oh no, did I get that right? And I refer back to the photos that I took of the quilt in progress. It's a lovely way to document and to help me along my quilting journey. Last but not least is my Fiskars cutting mat. I really love the Fiskars mats. I have tried other mats at retreats and quilting events, and I come back to the Fiskars mat every time. One of the reasons is because it has interim marks in between the inch lines. It's very important when you want to have accurate cuts all the way across your fabric or all the way across the block. I find that I love the Fiskars mat so much that I bring it with me to quilting events and quilting retreats because it's the easiest to use and the most accurate. It's well worth the investment. And here's my bonus tool. I carry with me either this notebook or this small notebook everywhere I go. I just tuck one or the other in my purse and I have it with me at all times. That way I can jot down any quilt ideas, fabric information, pattern measurements, notions that I need, anything like that. It's right there at my fingertips. Of course, you could use your cell phone too, if that's what works best for you. And that wraps up my top 10 tools for 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, tell a friend about my YouTube channel, and please subscribe. I'll leave a link to my other tools videos in the video description as well. If you're quilting on a budget, I have several videos for you. I'll leave a link to those videos. I hope you'll check them out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.